There we go. Okay, make a motion to come out of executive session at 8:19 PM and state that no motions or actions were taken in executive session.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 8. Discussion, take possible action regarding hiring of human resource manager. So Brian, what was the motion you wanted to make?
A motion to authorize the hiring of the fourth year human resource manager for the town of Seymour, and further authorize the Selectmen to negotiate and finalize the
Okay, we have a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Al, second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. So we will be in contact, Roy and I, over the next day or two. We'll get all that going, so. Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Congrats.
Why don't you go interview him or something?
Do something.
Talk about jumping the shark a little bit, Gene.
That's what she does. She had 2 stories read.
Why do you think the executive session was so long? You asked that question, didn't you?
Lead with it.
All right.
That's going to be her lead story.
Oh, wait a minute, we're on, this is live, okay.
He
So,
can't take his first vacation.
all right, yeah. Yeah, this recording is actually going to get jumbled up in the machine. All right, item number 9, discussion, take possible action regarding hiring of a fire marshal. So we're going to go back to, pursuant to the letter from the Board of Fire Commissioners dated January 14, 2019, which I'll read into the record. It says the Board of Fire Commissioners is recommending that Deputy Fire Marshal Tim Willis be appointed to the position of Fire Marshal for the town of Seymour. That appointment will go into effect at 12 noon on March 29th, 12 hours prior to Mr. Wedowitz retiring. So can I have that motion, please?
So moved.
Motion by Stefan, second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes, all right, aye. Motion passes 4-0. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'd say welcome aboard, but welcome aboard.
Well deserved.
So we'll work everything out with a swearing in before you leave for Ireland, get that all taken care of.
Actually,
That way
we're
you're
going to
set when you come back.
hide in your suitcase, and we're going with you.
Now, the position comes along with the pay raise, so make sure he takes you out for a nice dinner. So, thank you, guys.
Good job.
All right, item number 10, discussion, oh, wait a minute, I apologize. I'd like to make a motion to add to the agenda, discussion and possible action regarding WPCA request.
So moved.
Motion by Anne Marie,
Second.
second by Stefan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Next item on the agenda, discussion and possible action regarding WPCA request. Handed out to you this evening. We have a request. What's wrong? Your dedication is fantastic. Thank you, Jane.
She must have something more important to go to.
There you go. There she goes. Shopping calls.
Oh, boy. Okay, so we have a letter dated November 30th, 2018. It says the Seymour Water Pollution Control Authority is planning to replace 2 underground fuel storage tanks at the water waste treatment plant at 723 Derby Avenue. The 2 existing tanks are single-wall underground tanks and are over 25 years old. They have exceeded their useful life. The proposed replacement tanks will be above-ground tanks and will hold 2,000 gallons of fuel each. The new tanks are concrete encased and come with fills, vents, ladders, etc. The sole source supplier of this tank is Old Castle Precast of Atlanta, Georgia. United Concrete Products of Wallingford, Connecticut is the distributor for the product in Connecticut. We have enclosed copies of their quote and hereby request permission to waive the standard bidding procedure due to the need for the sole source provider. If you have any questions, I can be reached at, and it leaves this number, James H. Galligan, Navis and Young Engineers, the engineer for the WPCA. So this letter was supposedly sent over to our office. We did get it. The only reason we came across it is Anne Marie asked me a question as to why we haven't taken any action on it. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to waive the bid procedure due to the need for a sole source provider and award the contract for the underground fuel storage tanks for the WPCA to United Concrete Products as recommended by Jim Galligan.
So,
Motion by Anne Marie,
Second.
second by Al. Any questions, discussion? Anne Marie sits on the board, so she can answer anything in depth. No? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. All right, next item on the agenda is item number 10, discussion and take possible, no, yep, I'm sorry, discussion and take possible action in lieu of special town meeting regarding supplemental appropriation. I confused myself. Okay, so if you remember, we passed a resolution back in January. It then went to the Board of Finance. It was supposed to go to special town meeting, which it did. We didn't have a quorum, so we will act in lieu of special town meeting, and I'll read the resolution back into the record, and then we can approve it. Whereas the annual budget adopted for fiscal year 2018-19 appropriated $33,379,829 to the Seymour Board of Education, and whereas the town intended to expend town funds to furnish a one-time capital expenditure for the purpose of benefiting the Seymour Board of Education, and whereas the Connecticut State Department of Education does a yearly analysis of the state-required minimum budget requirements for all K through 12 school districts, and whereas the Seymour calculation requires one to add the sum of the annual board appropriation, that is $33,379,829, to the 2018-2019 ECS fund increase of $547,997, and then to compare that to the sum of $33,522,305, the board appropriation. And whereas, even though the town intended to do an additional appropriation within the town budget for the benefit of the board, it is, however, necessary to do a technical supplemental appropriation to the 2018-19 board budget to comply with the minimum budget requirement. Now therefore be it resolved pursuant to section 14.1B of the Seymour Town Charter, the town hereby authorizes, appropriates, and approves a supplement appropriation to the Seymour Board of Education budget for fiscal year 2018-19 in the sum of $142,476.
Mr. First Selectman, that resolution also include a finding that the failure of special town meeting this evening to obtain quorum was not due to unemployment.
There you go.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I appreciate that. Okay, motion made by Stefan,
second.
second by Al. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Item number 11, I'm going to ask for a motion at the table in just a moment, but our current fire marshal is out sick. He had a tooth issue, had to be removed, so he's going to be out of action for a couple days. So he asked that we table this to the next meeting. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to table. Motion by Stefan, second by Anne Marie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Item number 12, discussion, take possible action regarding tax deferment for federal employees affected by shutdown. As you know, the state of Connecticut passed a law during the shutdown to assist federal employees who are out or affected by the shutdown, giving the towns the ability to also provide some type of relief, at least temporary relief, to federal employees. So we had a resolution put together. I'll read it into the record, and then we can make a determination as to how we'd like to proceed. Whereas the state of Connecticut has enacted a municipal tax deferment program to assist federal government employees impacted by the partial government shutdown, and whereas the town of Seymour desires to implement the municipal tax deferment program, House Bill 5765, Section 7, approved by the Connecticut General Assembly and signed by Governor Lamont on January 22nd, 2019. Now therefore be it resolved, the Seymour Board of Selectmen hereby enacts the following. Number 1, purpose: to implement the municipal tax deferment program approved by the Connecticut General Assembly and signed by Governor Lamont on January 22nd, 2019. 2, definitions. Do I need to read them all, Brian? Okay. So again, everyone can see the rest of the definitions that are there. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution as presented. Motion by Stefan, second by Anne Marie, under discussion. And then, Brian, you can answer these questions. Obviously, this is something we would put into place for any future shutdowns and their impacts.
This would not apply to any future shutdowns unless and until the state legislature authorizes you to do that. The way they craft the legislation in the past, Fire Marshal 765, it only covers shutdown beginning December 22nd, 2018.
Okay.
It was not worded to cover any subsequent government shutdowns during any fiscal year. That being said, should the government shut down again next week, the week after, whenever, it would be up to the legislature to enact another bill, and then it needs to be signed by the governor before the U.S. municipality has the power to enter another resolution.
Okay.
This resolution would not cover future shutdowns. That being said, with this recovery tax in January, should there be another shutdown, there's a window of opportunity before you have to act as soon as the legislature does.
Right. Okay. So it's your recommendation, then, we approve the resolution to protect those folks?
Other municipalities have been doing it last week or this week, because you may still have effective government employees who have not received their pay. I don't know whether everyone has gotten their pay yet, kind of a case like the federal employees, not positive of that.
Okay.
So you just in the event you do have a federal employee, resident who has not been paid.
So just so we're clear, this will only affect, January's tax bill, a small percentage, a 1 month percentage worth, 30, whatever, 5 days worth of, I don't
No,
understand exactly
no.
how it works.
Now, this would protect someone who's not paid taxes in January, because they were an effective employee and they still are.
So this was done because tax bills are always due at the end of January?
That's correct.
So this wouldn't be done in March, for example, this would be done in January or July?
That's what I was suggesting, right, that in the event there's another government shutdown, you don't need to rush to enact that. Because first of all, you need legislation.
Of course.
Before you even have the power to do that.
So there will be no rush?
There'll be no collecting taxes are not due until July 1st.
Okay. So this is very specific to the January 31st tax deadline for property taxes
Correct.
at the municipal level? Okay, and to anyone's knowledge, has anyone come forward asking about this?
Not that I'm aware of. Have you heard anyone? You gotten any calls? Yeah, I mean, the
So this
office
is
has
just more of
gotten
a
calls.
blanket,
Just in case.
just in case, we're not gonna punish somebody who was punished by somebody outside of their control, essentially. Okay, fine.
Any other questions? Everybody good? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Okay. Item number 13, discussion take possible action regarding street light maintenance agreements. Mr. Burke. So as you know, we purchased the streetlights. They have all been put in. We have been working with our contractor as well as Eversource to get the project finalized and completed. We're to the point now where we're going to be able to put the maintenance and repair agreement into force. Rory has been working alongside Brian Lima in Brian's office to get this done and taken care of. So Rory, why don't you give us a quick overview of what's in the packet, and then we can go from there. Oh,
Apologies.
well, here, let me pass it around.
So the gist is,
Take a look.
Yeah, give it a quick one.
I'll let you know my opinions.
Yeah,
the
it's only 14 pages, you vary.
Quickly, Stefan, faster.
as you know, the streetlight project has been a very long time coming. And so we finished construction approximately April of 2018. And I have been hounding the company to get us a contract because we have many lights throughout town that are out, and we need to get them fixed. So they got us this contract, which is very different than what was proposed in the initial audit. And so I had a conversation with the contractor, and their explanation, which makes sense based on our experience in the past, 8 months or so. The contract that it was proposed initially cost between $6,000 and $8,000 a year, and that was just to have the agreement in place, to have the reporting system in place, to have a contractor on standby. Everything after that was, additional. So all parts, all labor were additional, excluding any defects with the fixtures, which are covered under the 10-year warranty which we were given. That was the initial proposal. So far, we have had somewhere in the neighborhood of about 30 to 40 lights malfunction. Yeah, 1,100 and change. A not insignificant portion of those occurred during the tornado in May. It made us realize when Eversource replaced a pole, they just threw away our lights and didn't even notify us. They claim they have no obligation to even let us know. We've since had conversations with them and put a protocol in place wherein they will leave the light at the site. When a police officer is dispatched to any incident involving a utility pole, they will notify our office, Public Works, and Public Works will dispatch a vehicle to pick up the light because they may well be in fully functioning order. The agreement that you have before you, like I said, is very different. The cost is not $6,000 to $8,000 a year; it is $30,000 a year. They said that is because they changed the scope of what is covered, and after reading through it, that is true. Everything, if you remember in the initial contract, was supplemental. Everything. Anytime a crew is dispatched, you're paying for it. The new contract offers periodic, they call them truck rolls, so in that version of the contract, 60 days, which is too long, and we've gone back to them about that already.
You can't wait 60 days for a light to get fixed.
Every 30 days is what we're proposing. So once a month, a truck will roll, and any issue that's been reported in those 30 days will be at least inspected. That is because, based on, this is why I advocate for this new version of the contract. We would be paying for the crew anytime a light is out, anytime a light is blinking, just to dispatch a crew to look at it. The vast majority of the outages that we've repaired so far, which admittedly is not many, are due to connection issues beyond the point of demarcation where our contractors cannot touch them. And an Eversource crew will have to be dispatched. So we would essentially be paying to dispatch a crew to tell us that we have to dispatch another crew and pay. There are 12 poles throughout town currently where the arm disappeared. We know that it was replaced. These are likely car accidents and the tornado. We just got a quote today from the contractor who did the work, $685 to purchase and install the arm and the light when this happens. Acts of God and car accidents, motor vehicle accidents, are outside the scope of the normal maintenance in the 30-day truck roll in the contract. No. But, I'm hoping we don't have a tornado every year. We're ordering 15 extra arms to have in stock, so that because there's a 2 to 4 week lead time to get the arms ordered. So what it basically comes down to is they said they will abide by the original contract, which is $6,000 to $8,000. plus, and we don't know how much. Based on what is already outstanding, we would certainly pay more than $30,000 this year. And this is, we're less than a year in from when the work was completed. I think it's, the options are basically pay less and hope for the best, or pay more and know that we're covered. The contract that, Kurt was passing around, again, will not include acts of God and motor vehicle accidents. It does not include dispatching Eversource crews when a loose connection is identified. That is still additional and would be additional regardless. So that's where we're at.
What's the difference between the top level?
Budgeted?
Less expensive, yeah.
15,000.
So-
Budget went from 70 to 85.
So what's your opinion with that difference? Should we pay the 85 or the 70?
He's recommending the 85.
You recommend 85, right?
Yeah.
I think it's,
Make sure I'm clear.
again, based on the majority of the issues,
Yeah.
600, they were doing about 30 lights a day.
Mhm.
So it doesn't cost a lot. Let me phrase that. They can get a lot of work done in a day. That's another thing. If there are more than 5 issues, they will include another truck roll at no cost. So if before the 30 days elapses,
So how many lights have they been fixing a day, and what hour?
they've been fixing
period,
no
what
lights
blocks of
because we
time?
have no
I'm
equipment.
just saying, like,
Yeah.
what would it be? What's it-
Again, it would depend what the issue is.
Okay.
Installing, when they did the lights, they were not installing arms.
Mhm.
They were just retrofitting fixtures at
Right.
the end of the arms.
Right.
I don't know how long it takes to do an arm. But,
Get one off the pole, put it on. Sure it's
yeah, I mean,
a process.
barring, a horrific month with a natural disaster or, I don't know, a full moon where everybody crashes their car into a pole with a light, we're looking at, based on how many outages we've had, I mean, we're probably less than 5 a month. So I'm confident that in most months, the 30-day truck roll will be sufficient.
Mhm.
Problem is, when they get there, they still may not be able to fix it. And
Yeah.
Eversource is giving us a lot of pushback.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Eversource has not been a very good partner. Yeah. Explain to them the rebate, just so they understand the
Right.
dollars and cents.
When you guys approved the project, initially there were rebates scheduled. The state budget was a disaster. They eliminated the incentives. They were restored. So we just got notice we'll be getting $147,000 back in rebates and incentives. So
Good.
the total cost of the project, if you recall, is about $550,000. So we're down to 4, which is great.
So the payback now is even quicker, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a chance, based on these changes, that the payback never really comes to reality?
No, I don't remember the exact figure we had budgeted
Yeah.
previously. It was 180 a year or something like that. So I mean,
So we're still
We're over 200.
so we're still doing okay. We're just not doing as well as we were.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're still saving over 100 grand a year.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be clear.
yeah, I mean it's if you recall, Eversource offered to continue owning the lights at one point and gradually convert them. The savings are all in us owning them. And you save a lot in energy usage, but the energy usage just isn't as big as you think.
Yeah,
It was
well, they're
mostly
not as helpful. We
Yeah.
we cut them out. Yeah.
So, I mean, our payback is down to 4 years at this point, which is, so, now, again, barring a natural disaster of some kind that comes in and wipes everything out, that, all bets are off.
And the other thing, the contract that's on the table is a 3-year contract. 10-year warranty on the fixtures, so we're not expecting any fixtures to go. We obviously had one of the worst storms we've had in this area in quite some time, in the brief period since the project was completed. So, right now, things look bad. I'm hoping that, subsequent years are not as bad, but we would have 3 years to kind of assess whether or not this maintenance contract is worthwhile. You know, we have no experience to base it off of right now, other than a particularly bad year.
And we're putting money aside as part of the budget for 10 years from now when the lights start to go. So we'll have cash on hand to be able to buy the bulbs.
Great.
So it'll be a self-sustaining program. Any other questions, comments?
So they won't tell us where the lights are?
Ones that are down.
Yeah.
Eversource has no obligation to notify us when one of our lights goes down.
Right.
Allegedly.
Yeah, they're a good time.
They took the light and they're responsible for some.
They said, and they've done this before,
This is
which
priceless.
angers me to no end. They threatened, you know, unless people stop calling them, they're gonna dispatch crews to fix the lights anyway.
What?
Yeah.
Well, they'll be doing it for free. We have no obligation if they're calling them
I
to do
made
it.
sure it was written
They're
to
ours.
them that under no obligation, under no circumstance would we pay for any of that. But
Do it.
allegedly, that's why they removed the lights, because people were calling them.
Oh,
Now, I don't recall, and
People.
perhaps maybe you guys do, seeing any lights left on the ground after the storms. They did not do that. They said if they were left for over 24 hours and they got calls, they would dispatch a crew at our expense to remove them. They put a protocol in place with the police and public works.
They can't do the work without the police. Police will automatically call Public Works, so at least we'll keep the equipment.
nice.
And it may be that we'll be responsible for disposing the fixture, but if it's a car accident, I mean, the one at Maple and Pearl, you know, the pole was destroyed.
Right.
The light, 20 feet up,
Was fine?
I don't know.
Hmm.
The
But
light was fine, it was the pole was shot. How the
the,
pole was
the light wasn't visibly damaged.
Hmm.
So for motor vehicle accidents, I'm assuming, unless the entire pole comes down, the light goes crashing into the
Crashes.
ground.
Right.
Which case you can charge.
They should- Right.
Right.
Yeah, for insurance.
So they're removing the lights.
They're
I'm
taking,
still stuck on this.
they, if you recall, they own the pole.
Right.
They own the pole, so they own the fixture, so they're removing the lights.
This one, yeah, a pole breaks.
Not even necessarily.
Yeah.
If, for example, it's an old pole and they're just replacing it,
Oh,
I don't see why it's any different in their eyes.
I just wanna make sure that they're taking ownership of the disposal of said lights.
Yeah, they better be, if they're taking them away.
they're taking it
They're
away.
telling
We
us
have no
that they
idea.
are.
They're
so-
taking them away, they need to take the ownership of it, and it does not come on to the town as part of
We've
the
received no
liability.
bill for,
Yeah,
for
they're-
the removal, but the fixtures are several $100s a piece, so.
Selling it.
What bill are you worried about?
It's not the bill, it's the cost to, it's the liability that goes with removing and disposing of said light, and where it comes from the generator
So-
standpoint as a waste.
I'm sure they
Oh,
have
that's them. They're taking that,
inventory with,
That's-
yeah,
depreciation and
so.
stuff.
But they won't be touching our lights anymore. So,
Because it's
we'll take that.
not.
What else? Anything else? Questions, comments, thoughts? So all in all, the program is still very good for the town of Seymour. It's just, it's a little bit more expensive than we had anticipated, but only 15,000, so.
And I fault the contractor for not communicating it better, and not responding more quickly, getting us the contract a lot sooner, but I believe what they're saying about this being a better program based on the year that we've had.
Mhm.
Everybody's good? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. So Roy, you can work that out with Brian Lima. Brian with an I, not Brian with a Y.
There you go.
So, okay, item number 14. I think it was 1 and 2. Didn't we?
I thought we did to start it.
Yeah.
Start the conversation?
We took a vote, yeah, but maybe we didn't, okay, so at this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve the contract pending sign-off of town council. Motion by Stefan, second by Al. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0.
There you go.
All right, item number 14, discussion, take possible action regarding abatements of town-owned properties, and we have two. A is at 126 and 128 West Street, and B is at 201 West Street. So let's go with A, 126 and 128 West Street. So we have a letter from a tax collector. It says, the town of Seymour, per tax collector's deed, volume 567, page 956, recorded on December 26, 2018, is now the owner of 126, 128 West Street. Please abate the following delinquent real estate taxes for grand list years 12 through 17, total amount $17,192.32. This property was included in a tax sale held on June 26, 2018, with no bidders, and the redemption period of 6 months has expired. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion that we abate the real estate taxes for grand list years 2012 through 2017 in the amount of $17,192.32 on the property at 126, 128 West Street. Motion by Stefan. Second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. And then next is item B, 201 West Street. So I'll read that into the record. The town of Seymour, per tax collector's deed, volume 567, page 960, recorded on December 26, 2018, is now the owner of 201 West Street. Please abate the following delinquent real estate taxes for grand list years 2011 through 2017 in the amount of $3,860.47. This property was included in a tax sale held on June 26, 2018, with no bidders, and the redemption period of 6 months has expired. Motion by Stefan.
Second.
Second by Al. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Item number 15, discussion, take possible action regarding forwarding ordinances to Ordinance Committee. We have two ordinances before us with the potential of going to the Ordinance Committee. The first one is one that has to do with an act extending the municipal property tax relief to retired volunteer firefighters, fire police officers, and emergency medical technicians. As you know now, we provide an abatement to active emergency service volunteers, but they have to qualify. What this is providing for is for folks who retire, and you can actually see in the underlined section, or any individual who is a retired volunteer firefighter, fire police officer, or emergency medical technician and has completed at least 25 years of service as a volunteer firefighter, fire police officer, or emergency medical technician in the municipality. So again, this is just to award those folks that have dedicated a substantial amount of time when they are no longer as active as they used to be. This gives us the opportunity to continue to provide that abatement to them. That's number one. And then number two, we have a company in town that had an issue with filing their taxes in an appropriate manner. This will give us the ability to go back and fix an error on the 2016 grand list. It would give essentially this board the ability to act on it prior to May 1st, 2019. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion that the Board of Selectmen forward to the Ordinance Committee for review and discussion a potential ordinance regarding retired emergency services tax abatement and an ordinance dealing with Section 15-13C manufacturer's exemption. Motion by Stefan, second by Al. All in favor?
Discussion?
Oh, sorry, discussion.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah, sorry.
The second one here.
Yep.
Is May 1st, 2019 enough time for us to go through all the process and public hearings and referring back to Board of Selectmen and all that?
Rich feels it should be, because the assumption is we would address it at our March 5th.
How long has the historical thing been going on?
Well, no, this is different, because this one
No,
will
I
go
know, I know.
March 5th, it'll come back second meeting in March. We'll set the, oh, is it going to be enough time? Might have to make June 1st. Because it's 28 days. So if we meet the second meeting in, it's going to have to be June 1st.
For us to decide by then.
Right, isn't it 20? Yeah, I'm just gonna put this on my notes for our meeting. I'll check, or Brian will check and see.
Yeah, I mean, we could make changes to it as the ordinance committee. and
No, that's a
before
good,
we
that's a good catch.
All right.
Because I'm wondering if the May 1st may be too fast.
It's gonna be tight, and especially the way ordinances move through the process.
Because even if we did it on the 5th, it came back on the 19th. We set the meeting, yeah, it'll be tight.
Okay.
So, because we still have to have a meeting,
Yeah.
a special meeting, so, okay. All right, so any other discussion? Nope, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Okay, item number 16, discussion take possible action regarding ordinance committee meeting schedule. The three, Anne Marie, Stefano, and myself, thought it made more sense, instead of just kind of scheduling meetings whenever, that we would set a formal schedule and just cancel meetings as we don't need them. So we will be meeting the same night as the Board of Selectmen, just at 5:30. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to approve the 2019 meeting schedule for the Ordinance Committee as presented. Motion by Stefan, second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Item number 17, discussion take possible action regarding forwarding ordinances to public hearing. All right, the Ordinance Committee has met, and we have 3 ordinances that we would like to forward for public hearing. The ordinances are, number 1, the historical landmark preservation. The only change that the Ordinance Committee is recommending to the board is in the significant building definitions section, where it talks about any building or structure within the municipal boundaries which, in whole or in part, is known or presumed to be at least 50 years old. That's what the current language is. We would like to change that to 150 years. Other than that, the committee is comfortable with all of the other information as presented. Okay, so with that, I'll entertain a motion that the Board of Selectmen forward to public hearing the historical landmark preservation ordinance with the change as noted.
Yeah, you should note also that the town attorney is not reviewed it.
I thought this was reviewed by you guys.
All we've seen is the draft from the medical trust.
That's it. That's what we're using.
You have no ordinance right now.
Correct.
You might introduce that.
Yes.
And you also attached another model for preservation ordinance to that consideration.
We're using the,
I'm sure you do.
yeah, the Connecticut Trust for Historic Preservation.
We'll take a look at that because there's certain historic societies doing such things.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at this with any changes.
Yeah, I thought you guys already reviewed this one. Okay.
All, that goes to the same for all 3 of these. If we go to public hearing, we go to
So, guys, I could have swore Rich reviewed both of these. Definitely these 2.
Right, good catch, cool.
Okay.
Review.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Stefan and Anne Marie. I was not really paying attention, so you can just put those 2 down for all of them. That'll just speed the process up a little bit. All right, the next one is B, Communications Commission.
I got it.
Um,
I'm on it.
All right, so we have a communications commission. We've talked about this in the past. It is made up of 5 members shall be representatives of the following: Police Department, Civil Defense Association, Ambulance Association, Fire Commission, and Public Works. The problem is it was just random people that were associated with those groups. The new ordinance will redefine the group as the Emergency Management Director, the Police Chief, the Fire Chief, the EMS Chief, the Director of Public Works, and the Municipal IT Director, along with the School Security Director. One of the biggest issues we had was with communication, people not understanding what was going on. By having the chief sit on this committee, if they send someone in their place, it'll be their responsibility to make sure that the information is communicated to them. They can't say, I didn't know, or I wasn't aware. Brian, the one question we had, and I have not gotten an answer from Rich, was if you look at the people that are on this committee, so let's say there is a natural disaster, we're all in the Emergency Management Center, is that going to constitute a quorum? Because it's highly likely that in these events, all these people are going to be in the same room together. So does that constitute a quorum? Because communication discussion could come up. No. Right. Right. No, they would not, they would never openly discuss business of the community. They would be talking about the storm. But let's say the storm knocked out one of our cell towers, as an example, and we lost communication. There could be a time where they were having a discussion about matters that would come before this committee. I just want to make sure that that's not going to be an issue.
Potentially could be, I'm not sure how you want to get around it.
Right. I mean, would public safety trump?
I mean, that's the argument I would make, in the event someone did file a FOIA complaint somehow during a natural disaster, that would have to be an emergency, like a safety emergency, that you just not get put on notice in a meeting.
Right.
The argument that an emergency meeting,
It would be.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was just the one point that was brought up. Okay.
I wouldn't be that.
So are there scenarios in which a quorum of these people would be together for an emergency that wouldn't be a formally declared emergency? Because that, I mean, I don't think it would be an issue, but this just was a curiosity to me because it seems like there's some conflicting theory there.
Given the nature of the committee, they could be together for other purposes.
Yeah, like I mean, I've literally seen these people in the room together or maybe a dozen times, and I don't see them all together very often, you know, so it happens. I just think, actually, I don't know. I don't know what to think. It's an interesting one for me.
No, it's a valid question.
I don't know how you get around it.
I don't-
I don't think you can. I don't think you want people on the committee who wouldn't be in an emergency.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want the private meeting side of people in that.
It's kind of a catch-22, and it almost makes me wonder if do other municipalities in your experience have commissions like this?
I've never heard of communication, but, I've never seen that.
Because if we don't have a legally formed commission, then it becomes irrelevant.
Correct.
But we all feel we need a legally formed commission to keep them on the same page.
Right.
So
I
it's
mean,
a-
we have a communications commission. The problem is it's just been so neglected
Yeah.
that they're just not, this is a way to keep them communicating, keep them from arguing amongst themselves sometimes. I didn't know, I wasn't aware, why did you pick this system versus that system? This now puts all the emergency services chiefs in a room and they'll come out with their decisions. So, they don't have regularly scheduled meetings. They meet as needed.
Right.
So,
Is there?
More of a policy making commission, what they would be talking about, obviously, with disaster, not policy, no. not developing a plan to be submitted to you for the communication.
Well, it's infrastructure and,
It's really, it's not to review, examine, and discuss safety communications. Review safety communications matter that's more active on a day-to-day practice.
I mean, one of, a common thing now is, you know, the fire department put the request in, 500,000 for the new radios. Fire department did that on their own, really with not a lot of input from police or EMS. So what you have is, fire's doing one thing, police is doing something else, EMS is doing a third thing, none of them can talk to Public Works.
Yeah.
So what this would do is force them all to be in the room together and say, okay, we're gonna get portable radios, what's the best for everyone? And then roll out a plan for the entire town, not just kind of one department at a
For
time.
example, at
Yeah.
times, ECC communications,
Right.
we all ended up having that phone call.
Right.
No, I think the commission is important. And I know that you, Brian, and the other lawyers that we do have are kind of our resource on this, but I'm just curious, maybe there's a way we can get some sort of opinion from the FOI commission. I'm not sure if that's,
I don't think, you have two choices, one is don't have a committee, and other than people on the committee, let's say, or just do it and.
careful.
I would just, what I would suggest, because, you know, the commission will tell you in a training that you're in that situation.
Yeah.
Communications could occur, will occur, it may be rare, but during a tornado or something that may happen.
Mhm.
They're discussing something over which they have jurisdiction. And clearly.
Exceptions can be made on real
somebody
real emergency. Yeah, I mean, I
make a complaint to begin with.
right. I don't see it happening. I like to cover bases, you know.
Call an emergency meeting. That's what I would do. If that's gonna happen, I would tell you, send out an emergency meeting, call an emergency meeting, send a notice out after the meeting.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a regular.
Maybe we get somebody trained up on that, on this commission.
We educate you how to call an emergency.
Yeah.
We're special in emergency.
There are
Yeah, they're
provisions to
parameters.
prevent disasters.
Yeah.
You say you had to meet immediately because something happened tonight after you left.
Yeah.
You need to act. Well, you're not gonna give them a 24-hour notice.
No, I know, it's just a certain number of us can call for it, and then it,
You can have, legally have an emergency meeting and then take care of notice after the
Sure.
fact, file a notice. So in that scenario, you are protected. If you just spoke, yeah, it could be an illegal meeting, but if you call an emergency meeting, you can obviously get that.
Sure.
So that's how we would
Yeah. yeah, that sounds good
We
to
would
me.
do
I
that.
think maybe we just get somebody on that commission, at least one or two people trained up on the FOI laws, and if
Yeah.
they're not already, and make sure that we cover our bases there.
And we would put together the agenda and everything for this group anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can do that. That's not a problem.
All right, thank you.
Perfect. So you guys you two are comfortable with, okay.
I mean, it was a valid question.
So we have a motion, yes, on this one? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve, or excuse me, to send forward to public hearing the Public Safety Communications Committee ordinance as presented.
Second.
Oh, I'll jump it in. Motion
that.
by
See, I'm awake.
Stefan, second by Al.
I'm awake.
Drew's back in the game. Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. And then the last one is the Emergency Management Director Ordinance. And again, this is as, you have seen it in the past, the only changes to the initial ordinance, or to the original ordinance, I should say, is that any place that it says civil preparedness or civil defense, that has just been changed to emergency management. Again, just to comply with the new setup that we have here in Seymour.
To clarify this, for a second, you have it listed as emergency management director, but the material includes also emergency management deputy. That part of the ordinance as well.
They were, bless you, they were just including extra information, because we have a director and a deputy.
I know you were changing
Yeah.
that
Okay, so at this point, I'll entertain a motion to update the Civil Preparedness Agency ordinance with the new language as presented. Motion by Stefan, second by Anne Marie. And just under discussion, this will be forwarded to public hearing as well. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. So we need 2 weeks for a public hearing, notice? We can do it for the 19th. Okay, so at this point, I'll entertain a motion to set a public hearing to be held on Tuesday, February 19th at 6:30 PM in the Norma Drummer Room to discuss the Historic Landmark Preservation Ordinance, the Communications Commission Ordinance, and the Emergency Management Director Ordinance.
Second?
Motion by Stefan, second by Al. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0, excuse me, jeez. Okay. Next item on the agenda is item number 18, executive session. We're not going to discuss the Stratford versus Purdue Pharmaceuticals. Okay, so at this point, we're going to skip item, we're going to move past item number 18, I should say. We're going to move past item number 19, and we'll move directly to item number 20, discussion, take possible action regarding VEMS agreement. In your package, you should have the contract from VEMS.
You don't need executive session for that?
There's no negotiating, nothing secret. So-
It was just listed on the executive.
Yeah,
session.
well, Brian and I talked about it, we're gonna skip right over that. Okay, so in your packets, you have the updated contract from VEMS. Essentially, all we have done is change the dates, moving forward for another period of time. So I think VEMS has done a great job serving the town of Seymour. Actually, every town in the valley now has a contract with VEMS. We were the first, so we're the first ones to renew. So this language has been reviewed by town council. Town council also serves as a counsel for VEMS. So that's, just so that is out as well. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve the renewal contract between the town of Seymour and the Valley Emergency Medical Services Incorporated as presented. Motion by Stefan, second by Al. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Item number 21, appointments. We have appointments before us this evening. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve the appointments as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Al,
Second.
second by Stefan.
I like that.
Under discussion. Hearing no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You just made Demko a happy man. All right, item number 22, tax refunds and abatements. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve the tax collector's report dated February 1st, 2019 as presented. Motion by
Second.
Stefan, second by Al. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, the chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Item number 23 is transfers. We have no transfers before us. Correspondence, item number 24. We have two correspondence. One of these is going to be very ironic. We received a letter from the state of Connecticut informing us that we received a community connectivity grant to do the sidewalks on Woodside. So, we will be running sidewalks from Route 67 all the way to the Oxford line. Unfortunately, they will only cover spots where there currently are no sidewalks. So, but that is more than half the road, so it's still
Okay.
yeah, it's still a good thing for us, so. In speaking with Rick Dunn at the COG, he said it doesn't hurt to try to put forward the work that's already been done. They may cover it, more than likely they won't, he said, but it might be worthwhile to try. And then, if you recall at our last meeting, we talked about 100 Prospect Street, and that sale of property which needed to have an 824 referral. So attached is the letter and the accompanying documentation that Rich sent along. Okay, so that covers item number 24. Item number 25 is public comments. Is there any public comments? Is there any public comments? Hearing no public comments, we'll move on to item number 26, Selectmen's public comments. Stefan?
Just quickly, I'd like to just say, I attended the Board of Education meeting last night on the February 4th, and I was extremely impressed with the amount of community engagement that we saw at that meeting. Whether you agree with what people were recommending or not, it was nice to see a lot of people come out, and not surprising, but slightly disappointing that nobody came tonight. But we're not the hot button issue
Yeah.
board, I guess. So. If anybody watches this video, then I would ask, hey, come to the next one. Let's hear from you. It's always exciting as an elected official. I got my little shot of excitement at somebody else's board last night. So,
That's right.
and that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just along those notes, we'll see, we did the second live Facebook post. Actually, we had more people watching it live than we had. We got up to almost 40 at one point, which was good. And then so far, we've had, it's reached 1,205 people
Yeah, I'll just add.
so far.
I would
Almost
commend
600 views.
Kurt for starting that initiative. Probably something that was overdue. Frankly, it's something that the town people can benefit from. Hopefully, it does not dissuade people from coming to meetings when they have issues, but it's a nice proactive communication step that we haven't really done in this town in the past. So,
I got
well done.
actually a lot of questions, which was nice. People,
Yeah.
not necessarily things that were on the agenda, but people just were asking random questions. So, I think it was a good thing. So we're going to do one tomorrow again at 5 o'clock for the budget presentation. So we'll put that out. That's not going to be as easy because it's a lot of charts and graphs that I really can't show, but at least give people quick ideas to what's going on. So, all right, thank you, Stefan. Al.
Just wanted to congratulate the Seymour High girls indoor track team for coming in third in NBLs. They did a great job. The other thing is I want to thank the Land Trust and Seymour Rec Department for hosting the Murder Mystery Night a couple of weeks ago. It was a lot of fun. Had a blast, and my wife and I were happy to carry the table to victory. So,
It's such an exaggeration.
exaggeration.
First off, it was the main character.
Exaggeration, was it, Rory?
It did yeah, I was gonna say. I think Burke and I.
Flirting
I
with
think
the
Burke and I did all the heavy lifting, but no, it was kudos to community services for.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good event. Yeah, that's me right there. Almost 600 now. Now the old one was on the angle with the fluorescent light behind my head.
That was awesome.
Look, the first one looked like a hostage video.
Oh yeah, that's what Driscoll said.
So I went out and bought a new stand so
It's been
it's
taken
square, and then I
captive by
turned off the
Al-Qaeda.
light so at least it looks a little bit better. So I do. Listen, it's
Jesus,
nice. This
seriously,
is
that's
a
nice.
tough
That's heartless.
tough group.
Brutal.
I don't think. Anne Marie, please save me from this abuse.
Oh, forget
No.
Yeah, that's right. It's about to get worse.
So, this morning, I was at the high school, Seymour High School, and I attended the assembly given by Mark Marrow about bullying and substance abuse. And if there wasn't a dry eye in that room, it was very moving. It's great that he comes out and he speaks to schools. It's great that Rich Kearns put that on. I hope more schools have him come out and speak to it. It was very moving. I also was at the Board of Ed meeting last night. It was nice to see people very passionate about it. I think there was 110 people at the count.
What was the issue you're referring to?
We're staying focused on our meeting. Please continue.
Curious. I was curious.
So it was very passionate. It was very good. As Stefan said, it would be nice to see people here as passionate about ongoing with town. I know people use it for Facebook a lot, but it'd be nice if they came here and gave us their opinion as opposed to putting it on Facebook. Good luck to the Seymour Cheer, as they're going off to, competition this week, as is the Seymour Dance, going for the NBL at Woodland Regional tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. I would also like to commend our Public Works for doing such an awesome job in the last week's storm. Even though we did lose some power, our power came back on at 10 o'clock, just as our generator ran out of gas. It was nice. That's all I got.
Just to build off of that, there was a cry from several of the residents on social media to open the shelter.
I did see that, yes.
You know, we had a plan in place, actually discussed it with Stefan in advance, he asked the question. We opened about 2 hours earlier than we had anticipated, we had a total of 5 people. 5 people that came the whole day, so. You know, it was good for those 5 people. One was a young mother and son who ended up staying all day. And then ended up she was going to McDonald's and then was going someplace else after that, so it gave her an opportunity. But, you know, thank you to the CERT team, to our custodians, emergency management team for putting it. They had hot dogs and soda, coffee, donuts. They, Alex broke out the, oh, he's not here. He broke out the Wii bowling and stuff for the kids, so at least they were able to have some fun and kind of, you know, use the day up a little bit, so that was good.
If I get to say one thing, it's depending how you look at it, it's fortunate or unfortunate that only 5 people showed up, but I think it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. So
No, agreed.
I think it's a good thing that the town did that, and I think anytime we have a situation like that, that should be a standard practice. So thank you.
Okay, Roy, anything we missed? Mr. Leclerc, anything you'd like to add? With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Anne Marie, second by Al. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, chair votes aye. Motion passes 4-0. Mark the meeting closed at 9:20.